Hey guys, sorry that I have not spoke yet on the big beautiful bill that passed. I've been on the front lines, protesting injustice, going to pride events, attending activist meetings, and now I have time to generate a video. So now, I'm going to speak plainly. You cannot serve God while causing oppression. You cannot serve God while enjoying cruelty. Isaiah 10:1 forewarns. Woe to those who make unjust laws, to those who issue oppressive decrees, to deprive the poor of their rights and withhold justice from the oppressed of my people, making widows their prey and robbing the fatherless. What will you do on the day of reckoning, when disaster comes from afar? To whom will you run for help? Where will you leave your riches? Nothing will remain but to cringe among the captives or fall among the slain. Yet for all this, his anger is not turned away, his hand is still upraised. This passage delivers a powerful warning against corrupt leadership and unjust laws. In its original context, the prophet Isaiah condemned rulers who exploited the poor, oppressed widows, and ignored the needs of orphans, those least able to defend themselves. Today, Isaiah's words remain frighteningly relevant. We are watching politicians in 2025 pass legislation that prioritizes power and wealth over compassion and justice. These policies are not neutral. They are moral failures. From laws that criminalize poverty to systems that reward corporations while abandoning working-class families, the spirit of Isaiah's warning is alive today. And the day of reckoning is not a metaphor. It's a consequence. God will not bless a nation that turns its back on justice, no matter how powerful, wealthy, or religious it claims to be. Throughout Scripture, including Isaiah 10, God consistently rebukes societies that oppress the poor, ignore the cries of the vulnerable, and pass laws that protect the strong while crushing the weak. A flag, a Bible, and a slogan do not invite blessing. Only righteousness, humility, and justice do. The downfall of Sodom is often twisted to suit a certain narrative, but Scripture tells us the truth. In Ezekiel 16:49, God declares, "Now this was the sin of your sister Sodom. She and her daughters were arrogant, overfed, and unconcerned. They did not help the poor and needy." Sodom was judged not for love, but for a lack of mercy, for wealth without compassion, comfort without generosity, and indifference toward suffering. That should disturb anyone who dares to call themselves righteous while defending cruelty. Now let's talk about the so-called Big Beautiful Bill, or what it really is, the Trump tax. Some are calling it a patriotic victory. But underneath the red, white, and blue branding lies a deeply dangerous reality. This legislation slashes funding for Medicaid, food assistance, and affordable health care, funnels billions into defense while underfunding education and housing, increases funding for immigration enforcement, resulting in more family separations and unjust detentions, gives permanent tax breaks to corporations and the ultra-wealthy while shifting the burden onto the working class. This is not tax relief. This is economic violence dressed up in political theater. This is a bill that will tax the working class to death while enriching the elite. And God sees it. Call to action. If you believe in justice, now is the time to act. Call your representatives. Vote in every local and federal election. Support grassroots organizations fighting for the poor, the sick, and the marginalized. Speak up even when it's uncomfortable, even when you're the only one in the room. You cannot claim to follow Jesus and stand silently while your neighbors are crushed under policies like this. God's people are called to stand with the oppressed, not legislate their suffering. Because the truth is, judgment doesn't just fall on the corrupt, it falls on the complicit.